Hello guys, I'm Gabriel from Web Development with Gabriel, and today we are going to create a simple pop-up which opens by clicking this button only by using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. For this tutorial we will need three files: index.html, app.js and style.css. Let's get started with the HTML file. Firstly, we need to define a button with a class of open modal button, which is responsible for opening the modal. Let's get some text for it. Now we are going to define a div tag, which is going to be the modal with a class of modal, let's say. Inside of it we need to place the modal content, which is a div tag with the class of modal body. Inside of it we will create a span with the class of close, which will place an X icon, which will be the close button for the modal, and some content inside the modal, for example this one. And this is everything for the HTML part. Let's move on to the JavaScript part. We need to get the modal from HTML. Let's define a constant variable with the name of modal, and you use the query selector function to pick up the element with the class of modal. Let's do the same for the button. And let's do the same for the close button of the modal. Okay. Now we need to add an event listener for the opening button by using the add event listener function, and the event is click. We need to define a callback function, which will set the modal.style.display to block. Basically, we will display the modal when this button is clicked. Next, we will do the same for the close button, and this time we will set the style with the display of the modal to none. So basically, when we click on the close button, the modal will disappear. Another functionality that we need to add is when the user clicks not inside the modal, it should be closed as well. For this, we are going to select the window property and add an event listener for it as well. When clicking anywhere on the window, we need to define a function with an e as a parameter, which is a mouse event, and we should check if the e.target equals modal. It means that if we click outside of the modal, then the modal should be closed. Now let's move on for the CSS part of the application. Firstly, we'll give a background color for the body of black, let's say. Let's style the button. We give it a padding of 15 pixels, a border radius of 5 pixels, a border of 1 pixel solid, RGBA 0.1. The cursor should be pointer when you hover over it. The outline should be none. We give it a nice looking background, and a gradient for it, which should be 90 degrees, RGBA 0%. RGBA 25, 45, 100%, and RGBA 0, 212, 255, 1 and 100%. Okay, the color should be white, the color of the text. Okay, it's looking nice. Let's place it in the middle of the window by setting its position property to fixed and left and top to 50%. Okay. Now for the hover, when you hover over the button, it should have an underline like this. Okay. Now for the model, we are going to style the model. If we click over the button, you can see it's displayed here. Let's make it invisible at the start by setting its display property to none. Let's set it in the middle of the page as well. By using the z-index property and setting it to 1, we will make sure that the model will sit on the top. Let's give it a width of 100%, a height of 100%, and a background of RGB by using this color. So now when you open the model, it should look like this. Okay, let's now style the model body, the model content. Let's give it a border radius of 5 pixels. We should hide the border. We give it a background color of FE. Let's give it a margin from the top, a padding of 20 pixels, let's say. The minimum height for this element should be 400 pixels. The width should be 400 pixels as well. It should be a square. And let's set it box shadow, which will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 35, 0 pixels, 5 pixels, 15 pixels. And now it should look like this. Let's style the close button. We give it AAA as a color. It should stay in the right by using the float right property. Let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see it better. Okay. Let's make it thicker by using font weight bold. Okay. Now when you hover over it, and then when it's focused, we should set its color to black, his text decoration to none, so no underline will occur, and the cursor should be pointed. Okay, it's looking nice already. And now for the last part, let's just make the paragraph, the model content, a little bit bigger than this. Let's say font size 30 pixels should do. Okay. So now, if we click the button, we should see that the pop-up appears. We can click it. We can close it by clicking on the close button, or by clicking outside the model. So everything works as intended. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.